The FBI has raided the headquarters of one of the nation's largest operators of psychiatric hospitals.
Hundreds complained of overbilling, misdiagnosed conditions, and insurance fraud.
Investigators say they found more than 5,000 similar cases in all 50 states.
Psychiatrists clearly are getting rich.
Psychiatrists traded drugs for sex, filed false insurance claims, and exploited patients sexually.
We have uncovered some of the most elaborate, aggressive, creative, deceptive, immoral, and illegal schemes being used to fill empty hospital beds with insured and paying patients.
Jeder Psychiater legt einen Eid ab, mit dem er sich verpflichtet, einem ethischen Kodex zu folgen und die Fürsorge für seine Patienten über alles andere zu stellen. Aber in keinem anderen Bereich der Medizin werden so viele Praktizierende strafrechtlich verfolgt wie in der Psychiatrie.
Psychiatry is almost a license to print money. If a doctor were clever enough, and many of them are, there's no reason that they couldn't make at least $500,000 a year fraudulently and get away with it in psychiatry.
I don't purport to have deposed every psychiatrist in Las Vegas. I can tell you for a fact I haven't. Maybe I've deposed half. And by and large, they were a dishonest, deceitful, lying bunch of people.
Ihre betrügerischen und kriminellen Abrechnungspraktiken sind in den USA derart weit verbreitet, dass unter Versicherungsdetektiven schon Slangausdrücke kursieren wie kalifornisches Winken oder $100 Handschlag.
$100 handshake is when usually a patient is institutionalized. Psychiatrist, psychologist will visit that person, shake hands with them, say, hello, I'm Dr. So-and-so, I'm taking care of your problem here, and then leaves.
They might have 10 or 20 patients there. They bill an hour for each one, and they might be in the hospital for a total of 30 minutes. So 20 patients, 20 hours, and they'd send the bills off to Medicaid.
We see that most of the victims of recovered memory therapy were women who had excellent health insurance, whether it was government insurance or private insurance, because many insurance policies wouldn't pay for this kind of long-term nonsense. So those people were targeted because of the nature of the insurance that they had.
Die staatlichen und privaten Krankenversicherer werden von der psychiatrischen Industrie in den USA jedes Jahr um $40 Milliarden betrogen, unter Ausnutzung aller nur denkbaren Mittel, um die Öffentlichkeit zu täuschen.
There were some advertisements, very seductive advertisements for people wanting to lose weight and were having problems losing weight. And they would be given, all expenses paid to go to a particular spa. But when they got to this spa and went in and signed in, it wasn't a spa, it was a psychiatric center. And then they couldn't get out.
What instead they received massive doses of mind-altering drugs, and they were kept for a lengthy period of time, and their insurance carrier was billed tremendous amounts of money for something that was unnecessary.
Ihre Lügen beschränken sich aber nicht auf psychiatrische Abteilungen, sondern reichen bis in die Gerichtssäle, wo sie als Gutachter gegen Honorar so ziemlich alles aussagen.
A psychiatric expert who will have one opinion in one scenario and a completely opposite opinion in another scenario based on which law firm or governmental agency is paying for his time.
These psychiatrists, on one hand, will tell the public that suicide can be prevented, but will go into court and tell a jury that suicide cannot be prevented. And then once you show his prior inconsistent statements, you also show that he is paid very well by pharmaceuticals, then the jury says, you know what, we're not so sure about you because you just lied to us.
Zu ihrer Gier, ihrer Unehrlichkeit und ihrer Habgier kommen ihre Sexualverbrechen. Obwohl Psychiater nur 6% aller Ärzte ausmachen, begehen sie fast ein Drittel der von Ärzten begangenen Sexualdelikte in den USA.
It has happened so often that by the mid-80s, the insurance companies who insure physicians across America started writing sexual claims out of the policies altogether. That's how common it was.
The system was so broken that more than 25,000 complaints had been registered, but nothing acted upon. When a psychiatrist has a patient, a female patient, and abused them sexually, there's a very high probability they'll get away with it.
I've seen many cases where the mental health professional becomes very disturbed and is using very strange and odd treatments, and that can go on for many years with no one finding out about it because it's not very public. It's quite private. Things happen behind closed doors.
Tragischerweise werden besonders oft Kinder von ihnen sexuell missbraucht. Ein Beispiel. Dr. C. Markham Berry genoss in seiner Umgebung hohes Ansehen, bis er wegen Kindesmissbrauch angeklagt und verhaftet wurde. In seinem Haus wurde lastwagenweise kinderpornografisches Material sichergestellt. Im Zuge der Ermittlungen wurden auch seine sexuellen Übergriffe auf frühere Patienten aufgedeckt. Dabei handelte es sich um Jungen im Alter von 7 bis 17 Jahren, die er fotografiert und zum Analverkehr gezwungen hatte. All das war Teil von dem, was die Anklage als Berrys 50 Jahre zügelloser, unentdeckter sexueller Eskapaden mit Kindern bezeichnete. Dies ist jedoch kein Einzelfall. Derartige Verbrechen ziehen sich wie ein roter Faden durch diesen Berufsstand. In jeder Stadt, jedem Bundesland und jedem Staat begehen Psychiater Straftaten wie Vergewaltigung, sexuellen Missbrauch, Mord und Betrug. Die Glaubwürdigkeit der Psychiatrie basiert auf einem Riesenschwindel, wie Sie im nächsten Film sehen werden.